Looking downfield, launching downfield, going for it all! It is close! Bears win it! His feet is killed! The big play! And a stiff arm! George Kittle! Flag fly! And Manning is going to hit one. It's a flag. That just
Ladies, gentlemen, and all those in between or outside of it, welcome to Monday Night Mock Drafts with Evan, right here on the Fantasy Football Network, coming to you every Monday evening until week 1 of the NFL season. I am your host, Evan Sather. Tonight, we will be doing a mock draft for a 14-team, one-quarterback PPR Redraft League. Joining me as my guest is a Scott Fishbowl live drafting legend in Chicago. Unsullied by branding, he is an independent fantasy football enthusiast. Please welcome to the show, Andrew Lupole. Andrew, it's so good to see you again, my man, and not just at a Scott Fishbowl live draft.
Evan, awesome to see you, man. I get to see you basically once a year at this point, whether I'm at Scott Fish or, something else that might come up in the community, but it's really great, being here. Happy to support your pod. Love you and the guys. Love Kendall as well. And also, love following Classic Mike from a distance out in New York, but love you guys. So thanks for having me, man. It's really great to be here.
Yeah, man. I know you have been in the Chicago suburbs for at least at the beginning of our lives. You're out in the Seattle area now, are you not?
No, I'm back. I was.
Oh, that's right. You are back.
Yeah, I'm back now. So I was. I did. I grew up. My whole upbringing was here in the Chicago suburbs in Lisle, Illinois. I'm now a proud Yorkville resident and Yorkville Foxes for my daughter's schooling. But yeah, man, had a great time in Seattle and building my life there with my wife for almost 15 years. But family and life happenings brought us back to the Chicagoland area. My wife's an Iowa girl, so Midwest roots, can't deny it. We're back. I'm happy to see Bears games live again in real time on the Central Time schedule. The time zone that doesn't count, as they say. But happy to be back in the Chicago burbs and just drinking all of those things in, especially during the summer with baseball season and all of those things, man.
For sure. I once had a business trip with an old job out in Santa Cruz, California, way back in 2012. That was the first time I had ever seen a Monday Night Football game start at 5 p.m. local time. And it just fried my brain at the time, just being in Central Time for pretty much all my life at that point. Like, when the hell do I ever go to California? I got that experience for the first time that long ago. I can only imagine what that's like on a consistent basis up in Pacific Time.
Oh yeah, well it's it's not great for Sunday mornings and noontime starts because you have to either be at we'd have to be at the time the TV options weren't maybe as vast to see the games. And so either you had a major subscription to see the games whenever you wanted, or we had to go in Seattle. We had to go to the Bears bar. So, the local bar that was showing all the Bears games. So luckily we had a couple Chicago bars in Seattle that would show all of the Bears games. But it won't lie. For the Sunday night and Monday night games, we weren't to really Thursday night games quite yet at that point. But for Sunday and Monday night games, elite. For being able to take something in early and being able to still get sleep and go to work the next day.
Especially if it goes into overtime, right?
Yeah, for no overtime. No overtime. Unless you need the points, then go over to overtime.
Yeah, absolutely. So real quick, Andrew, I realized I forgot to add you to these stages. Let me do that here real
That's
quick.
okay.
So
Yeah, go for it, man.
yes. So this is the roster format we're going to be doing this evening. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 2 flex spots, a kicker, a defense/special teams, and 4 bench spots, being that, well, it is 14 teams. The benches are going to get a bit thin after a while with these larger leagues, but that's what we're definitely going to be getting into this evening as well. Draft board is right here. I'm going to add Andrew to be my guest with me for this draft. Andrew, I don't think we need to keep the people waiting for too much longer. Are you ready, my friend?
Yeah, let's go. I'm happy to have everyone here. We got some really great from the community to get this draft loaded up. You just had a quick couple shout outs for John K. Lest, who I met at the Expo, along with George Conrad, the Gangret Sports group. Just a lot of great names in this. Duarte, a lot of great names in the draft tonight. Feel free to call it anyone else, Evan. But I want to thank everyone for the support tonight, for getting in on the draft for sure.
You bet. We're going to get it started. I got to ask you about the Fantasy Football Expo. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it out this year as well. So what would you say some of the highlights are for those who have never been to the Fantasy Football Expo?
Well, I mean, number one, the highlight, of course, is just being able to see part of your, ticket in is being able to see the Hall of Fame. So that is for sure going to be one of the peaks of it all. But yeah, honestly, the great part is just the people. I did a couple quick slideshows. I tried to share as many pics as I could because I just had so many smiles, so many great interactions with people. I know that people get onto hype the expo and say, hey, just be natural. Talk to any content creators or the experts. Don't be shy. That's 100% it. The first people I literally went to pick up my welcoming pack at the at the hotel, and the first people coming out were Pat Fitzmaurice and Debro. I'm one removed from Pat Fitzmaurice because I know John McGlynn's in a nice dynasty league with him, and I know they've socialized. So had to drop some names there. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Right off the bat, you're confronted with everybody from online, and you just got to jump in and act like you belong and be cool with everybody. I just got the best reactions, even from people I didn't know knew me. I jokingly said the whole weekend, I'm a fantasy football socialite. I love getting around. I love, committing to all of the charity tournaments that I can, and doing goodwill in the community. But yeah, it was just so much fun. You just hanging out with people, picking brains a little bit, but no bad vibes whatsoever. You see your favorite football analysts all commingling. All of the daggers that might be thrown occasionally on Twitter, X / any of your social medias, those go right out the window, and everybody's just having a good time and giving hugs, and dapping up and all of those things. And all of the activities are great. The Lung family kills it, and it's a group effort to get it done. So yeah, just props to the whole crew. Really good. So yeah, can't recommend it enough, Evan. If you and your group, Kendall and anybody who's even thinking about going, 100% if you can go. I was lucky enough to be able to get a little dad time away for the weekend. It was my birthday kind of trip that I planned for the year. And so, yeah, 100%. I already said before the trip was over, I'm like, got to tell my wife I got to go back. So, I'll be going back. Hopefully, never know what capacity I'll be going back in again. But no matter what, it's a great time.
Yeah, no, happy belated birthday too, Andrew. You don't look a day above 21, my friend.
Thank you. I will take that and just keep going.
Yes. So I was gonna say, no bad vibes. Everybody intermingles at the Fantasy Football Expo, but that's until the big golf and poker tournaments get started, I'm imagining.
Yes, I didn't go to the golf tournament. I did hang around the poker tournament, which is a really nice time as well. It's when I did a lot of my initial socializing with guests and other people, and it was so inviting. The poker tournament, I guess, had a couple of touch and go moments with some competitive nature, but even that was it's all for a great cause, and we had such a good time. All the activities, the draft night out, the Friday and Saturday night parties, and then just the expo itself, just really, really well done.
So I think that pretty much answers Messer Grimm's question. Should I go to the expo next year? Yes.
Grim, get there, and if you see me, say hi. And yeah, I was fortunate enough to team up with some friends from OTC as well. OG Curdy, who's also in this draft, and a couple others, and really just had a good time. Like I said, you'll find your group there no matter where, because everyone's just looking for a nice time and nice chats. And it's a great time. Honestly. It's a great time to promote whatever you're doing, or if you're looking for any kind of door opening into the business or just that space, period.
For sure. Yeah. Our good friend and team member, Classic Mike, definitely misses it so much. He's been 2 years ago and it was great. I have yet to go myself. I was kind of hoping to take a South Shore train out to South Bend to have Kendall come grab me on the way because he lives in the area. And then we could road trip it out to not Akron, but what is it? Canton, all the way out there. But schedules just didn't line up. And I mean, it didn't really work out for the both of us this year between like family work, and I've had pretty much a rough year in my personal life. So, this show is at least a good highlight of that. So it's been good. I'm sure I'll make it out again for one of these years. And you're not lying about the lungs either. Like, I was on airport pickup duty last year for Scott Fishbowl along with I hope Bear Fan Pete can catch us in this mock draft drafting from the 3 spot, but I was riding shotgun with him to go get Bob and a couple of other guys from O'Hare Airport. So we're those type of guys. We will come get you at the airport if you're special enough.
Yeah, that's one of those things where, and I remember too, because that was the first time I met Bob Lung was that morning of the Scott Fishbowl in downtown Chicago, because you grabbed him, and so I saw you as well. But yeah, I was like, oh, Bob Long's here. Great. So we got to chat it up at the restaurant for a few minutes before the Scott Fishbowl opened up. And so that was like, and he was like, hey, you got to come out. So he did his job by, making me aware of like, hey, you got to be there. Treated me like anybody else would have. And because that, it's his first interaction with me. So yeah, excellent job. The community will be there for each other, and it'll get paid forward. It'll get paid forward to you.
I mean, I'm always blown away every year that I've done Scott Fishbowl live in Chicago of how just how genuinely great people are, and you don't even know them. Even grabbing the Fantasy Football Network, another follower on YouTube from a guy that's in my division. I'm the worst with names, so I feel bad that I forgot the guy's name already, but I know the guy's face, and I'm grateful that he was willing to do that for us too, just because, our channel is new as of about 90 days ago. We're already close to 120 subs already, so if that's a good time to tell everybody watching right now, hit the subscribe button here to the Fantasy Football Network if you haven't already. We've got a lot of great shows to cap off the rest of August with our mock drafts, and then we're already preparing our in-season content once week 1 gets started, which you guys are not going to want to miss. I guess I'll give you guys a little sneak preview. We're going to have our Sunday start-sit show, and we'll definitely have a waiver wire show. We got a lot of stuff to iron out, so I don't want to talk too much about it yet. But
I hear you. Yeah, everybody hit that like and subscribe. Help your fellow fantasy brothers and sisters out there. The algorithm is a bee, and can be a beast to overcome. And even though it doesn't feel like a lot, sometimes people want to say like, oh, hey, Andrew, you do this and you do that. Like, hey, it's just as simple as me liking, subscribing, giving you a retweet. I mean, that's how we got half the people. Evan, you understand, you have to, promote your own product. I said, hey, half the people in here just from reaching out and retweeting the message. And that's how you are going to drive that, content to your site. Hey, we all want some views. We all want to be recognized. We all want to spread the good word. So yeah, get out there and help your fellow brother and sister. It doesn't cost you anything to give a like or a retweet or a like or subscribe. Your timeline's already filled with it because you're a degenerate fantasy football player. That's why you're here. So, just go on and help your neighbor out. Funny story at the expo, Jake Perry, who you might know from the interwebs, he was helping run the he was helping one of the rally one of the rally give outs at the draft night out. And so we've coincidentally, because I won something, he found out my phone number and said, oh, you're also a 630 area code guy. And I joked and I said, oh, I'm like, oh, are you my neighbor? And he goes, where are you from? And I said, Yorkville. And he goes, oh, I'm from, down the road. And I said, oh my God, you are my neighbor. And we hang out at the same places, but we didn't know each other. So now we've we've decided to connect now locally. And that was in Canton. So, I mean, it was just one of those fun stories along the way that, hey, your neighbor, someone down the road, you don't know who you're ever going to connect with. Just put yourself out there, make yourself available. So it was just a really cool time.
Yeah, and even at the fantasy football, the Scott Fish Bowl live draft, it's already out of my comfort zone, not only just to tell people about the Fantasy Football Network, but I told my teammates here, most notably Kendall, that I want to live stream at the Scott Fish Bowl live draft, being that we've done a ton of Scott Fish Bowl mock drafts, and I figured our viewers are going to want to see how our live drafts are going as well. And not necessarily the whole time, but at least to check in with people, just to say, hey, we're here, we're having a great time type of thing. And even that's out of my comfort zone, because I just feel like such an annoying tool in a way where it's like, like I like to live in the moment instead of like living on my phone. But
I think it's
nobody gave me shit about it. Everybody understood.
No, I 100%. You do it, and you find a way to maybe edit it down if that's what you're maybe more comfortable with after the fact. Because it's a lot, and you don't want to, hey, people are having a good time. You got to respect people's privacy as a little bit as well. Not everybody wants to be on the cam the whole time. There's a lot of people who are a little camera shy. So you gotta figure your way around that. But it's a great place to showcase what the community is about. Whether it's winning the raffle prizes or those fun, all the fun jerseys or T-shirts. Those kind of side conversations. There's a great way to, it's a great way to showcase what the Scott Fish Bowl live events are about. There's 5,000 participants this year. Half are live. It just keeps growing. The live keeps growing, and that's what really drives up all of the donation numbers. We reached almost $24,000 this year raised at the Chicago Live. I know we got edged out, I think, a little bit by just by the New York Live and the Cincinnati Live, run by John Bosch, who was also at the Chicago Live. Shout out John Bosch, you're awesome, dude. So yeah, it just gives us a new goal for next year. I know Steven Johnson, who does a phenomenal job organizing everything at the Scott Fish Bowl Lives. That's where quite a few of us try and help out as best we can, especially with donations and whatnot. Donation collection. Let's see, we got to get it. Oh.
Missed it, but hey, Devontae's not bad for the fourth round, my man.
No, it's all right. I was already almost on a wide receiver bender anyways. It's a quick comeback here. I was too busy talking and I didn't draft one, but I needed a running back.
Man.
I know this is kind of how this draft has gone anyways. I've kind of, I almost took Henry just going back a little bit. I almost took Henry in the second because I said it's my last call for volume back already. Just in my eyes. And so then I just decided to, keep going the other way.
Oh, John McGlynn looks like he's going to auto draft too. Okay, well, he just grabbed Fan at the last second. I'm going to go Tyler Warren, and I'm going to go Scary Terry because I roll like that. That's how I do.
I've got a lot of Scary Terry this year, man. It's he's dropped that extra round now where I was having to maybe pick him in 4 or 3. Now because of the Stephon Diggs acquisition, he's maybe dropped a bit. So yeah, maybe that's why he fell, maybe all the way to round 5 in this draft. Especially
even before
Go ahead.
I was going to say, even before Stephon Diggs made it official, a lot of the fantasy football community just does not believe in Scary Terry McLaurin, and I don't understand it. Granted, the Washington Commanders offense was ass last year, and I'm sure that didn't help his shares at all, but what people forget about Scary Terry, the guy is a legit number 1 wide receiver who has finished in the top 15 for 2 seasons in his career, 2024 and 2022. He had 13 touchdowns in 24, 82 catches off of 117 targets. He's already got chemistry with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I've just always been a Scary Terry fan. I love Terry McLaurin. And we always wanted him just to get that quarterback. And he finally got it, and then he was robbed of it again. And now you're maybe there's a little hesitancy with Stephon Diggs, back in the mix, but he's still gonna get his. I'm not shying away from Terry in any drafts. Maybe he falls an extra round because of it, depending on how Diggs shakes out in camp. Slight tick down for Chig, who I've also been liking taking late in drafts, especially the tight end premiums. And then the other news today that was a little was the news of Tunsil going down for at least maybe the first 10 weeks of the season. So they're probably their top offensive lineman's down. Are they going to move Chig into more protection? That's going to be a concern, all to be determined, but it might keep people at bay a little bit on ADP, at least early on here in the preseason, with some of the, the recent developments with the Commanders. But either way, not keeping Terry McLaurin off my teams.
Yeah, it seems like K-Less agrees with you that Chico Okonkwo is probably going to take a bit of a hit with Stephon Diggs being signed by the Commanders. But Chico Okonkwo, to me, was already a solid tight end, too, in my opinion. And I think that he's not going to take that big of a hit. I think he's still going to get some decent targets in this offense.
Yeah, I mean, they were already saying he was the second pass catcher in the offense before Diggs signed like a few days ago. So, I mean, what are you going to tell me? He's now the third target in the offense. I mean, even despite, I'm sure there's going to be Antonio Williams truthers out there, etc. Does Rachaad White get a little more pass action, a little more pass play action in that maybe third down back roll? Bill Merritt's getting pretty good reviews in camp, but still not a full 3-downer. So there's some questions in the backfield, but I just don't know. It's going to be a little bit of wait and see for me on the Redskins offense as far as like where is this going to all play out? And obviously you have a new offense being implemented. So I just think there's questions to be answered, but I'm not going to just ignore the talented guys to ignore the talented guys. At the end of the day, the top guys usually get the most targets, period. The pass blockers get the most targets. The top receivers get the most targets. Let's not overthink this too much. But honestly, the Tunsil thing really kind of worries me more today than anything.
Yeah, for sure. So, Andrew, did I ever show you how my Scott Fishbowl draft went, speaking of Chico Okonkwo?
Oh, no, I don't think I didn't pay attention, at least that far down the board for you, no.
Yeah, so pardon me for taking the draft board off temporarily. I just wanted to show my Scott Fishbowl 16 draft briefly. I got Chico Okonkwo in the 10th round from the number 12 spot. So I'm thinking that's probably going to be a hell of a value for a late tight end, considering how much value I got for a lot of these guys. Trey McBride in the second. Like, how does that even happen?
Well, you did. I think you did great. Looking at the McBride pick, then Fannin pick, and Fergie pick. Kelsey pick, you didn't shy away from the tight end. Okay, well, Evan, what did you do today?
Well, I don't know. What did I do today, Andrew?
Oh, I don't know, but I just drafted Jonathan Brooks in the 6th round because I need a back. So
damn, that's a spicy take.
Well, what are we doing? Maybe pick. Gonna have Chuba to run in between the 20s. Reports are all great out of camp, especially in this draft. I know there's been a couple of flubs just because I'm talking so much live. But yeah, I probably would have taken had a little mistake with the Drake May pick there. Probably would have taken Tootin right there. But now I'm like a little deficient, so I got to do a little makeup, and I'm not afraid to take Brooks anyways. At the draft night out, I took him in the 9th round. Which was a little bit late already at the Expo. I've taken him some other places too, of course. But yeah, and then, so we got to take care. We got to take care.
Yeah, that is the question indeed. You've already gone 4 wide receivers, a quarterback, and your first running back being Jonathan Brooks, which is going to be mighty spicy, being that a guy who tears his ACL, the same one in college, the way that Eric All of the Cincinnati Bengals did, is not necessarily looking good for recovery. But, with modern surgical technology improving that, and our medical understanding of ACLs improving, you go with the rookie Jonah Coleman at the 7-4, which a lot of great news is coming out of camp for him too, where he's, I think Sean Payton said something like he already conducts himself like a veteran already, as if he's capable of maybe leading the committee later in the season. What do you think his ceiling is for his rookie year?
Well, I don't know if his ceiling's that high immediately, but I also saw J.K. Dobbins got exited from training camp today. We're all just waiting for that to happen. I also have some shares of RJ Harvey as well, but if it's going to be an every down back, it's going to be Jonah Coleman to replace J.K. Dobbins, not RJ Harvey. Not that they won't be both individually worthy, but at least in this build, in my situation right now, everything's contextual for me in drafts. So making up for some lost ground. Recent camp news today. Do I hit with Coleman? I'm already stocked at receiver, and I have quarterback. I have one of the top 5 quarterbacks on most people's draft boards in draft Drake May. I have 4 pretty darn good solid receivers ready to break out. Will my RB room be a little weak? We'll see if I can make up for it in value down the board here. But now I'm kind of like, I feel like I've level set again, and I'm ready to kind of get back into it as far as the draft goes. The 14 teamers are, I think you have to, I don't know. It's great if you can find the balance the whole way down the board, but sometimes it's really difficult.
So I guess that brings up an interesting point, Andrew. Do you like being a 0 RB guy in a format like this?
In this position, I don't mind being a 0 RB guy, just because of who's getting started in the flex spots. We don't have a tight end premium here, so I'm not looking at that as an extra. Not doing a double tight end. I'd probably be focused a heavy wide receiver. Any day. I wouldn't do this draft the exact same way, but either way, I'd still be extremely wide receiver heavy in the beginning. I typically was an advocate and still kind of am, depending on the situation, for being a 0 RB guy. I just know that the dead zone running back, it's been kind of proven out, whether that's that there's only so many RBs that hit, even if you just have 2 RBs. I'm usually a punt RB2 kind of guy. That's an RB2 by committee is usually how I draft in these typical formats, or if it's extra flex spots for receivers. I know a lot of people are doing the tight end premium now, but if it's not tight end premium, I'm usually going heavy wide out. And, with the Adams pick, I'm not too upset about it because I do like touchdown equity. I know it's impossible to predict, quote unquote, but the trends are the trends for touchdowns. And so I'm comfortable with Adams there too. He doesn't seem to have much competition.
Yeah, no, Davante Adams is definitely a strong red zone guy. Getting him in the 4th round is an insane steal, in my opinion. Being that, obviously Puka Nacua is going to be the top receiver for the Rams, and everybody's going to want him. People are looking at the age of a Davante Adams, and they're thinking in terms of, oh no, he's 33 years old now. Surely he's got to fall off the cliff at some point. He has now had 9 seasons out of his 12 seasons in the league, which he's been a top 15 wide receiver in PPR leagues.
Pretty good.
Pretty freaking good, man.
pretty good. Davante Adams, if they got obvious shirts, Davante Adams catches touchdowns. That's what he does. We're going to try and, do they have me on this? Come on.
You're still on auto draft. You got to click on that pink bar at the top.
I turned it off. It keeps putting me on there. I'm turning it off. Keeps letting me.
Well, how do you feel about Hunter Henry?
Actually, honestly, I was looking at tight end, and I was probably going to pick them. He just got his contract extension today as well, or last night or today. I'm actually kind of happy with the Hunter Henry pick. Also keeping my eye on, for dynasty people, I'm also keeping my eye on Eli Raridan. That's another one that I would like to keep my focus on. And actually, this is going to be we'll see here. I got to keep my eye on the draft a little bit here, Evan. We got a fast clock, so I got to keep my eyes on here.
30 seconds is kind of fast.
No, it's good for this amount of drafters. It's great. I know everybody wants to keep moving. But yeah, Eli Raridan, someone I'm targeting late in drafts on that Patriots tree. Romeo Doubs. Oh no.
I like Romeo Doubs a lot from the Patriots this season.
Speaking of someone we were just talking about, I'm going to beef up my running back room a little bit, and I'm going to take Rachaad White here. And so that's where I'm going to take a little nibble at this point to help my team in the running back room. I think Rachaad gets a little bit of extra pass play when Chig moves in to maybe help with pass protection. What we don't know is, are they going to use another tight end to make Chig a pass catcher? Bring another tight end to be maybe that extra blocker if they feel they're a little weak on the Tunsil side. Are they going to scheme that up a little bit more? Either way, I do like Rachaad White. Probably would like him in probably one round later if I could, typically. But based on my build, I'm fine with taking him there. I'm feeling pretty confident in the wide receiver room still. There's still value down the board. Last call for that grouping of running backs I like as well. So I'm happy to have him go.
So, as Classic Mike pointed out in the comments, for those of you who are, well, unfortunately, we don't have two people with us, but I won't necessarily call out the one person with us that's on auto. There is a pink bar at the top of your screen that you have to tap on to take yourself off of auto draft to make sure that you actually make your own picks. We like to have people participating in these, being that the sleeper algorithm kind of sucks when it comes to mock drafting, drafting guys that might be a guaranteed out for the season, like a Ricky Pearsall. So, we want to make sure that it's realistic that could look like our drafts. But getting back to what we're talking about here, I'll be curious to see how actually valuable Rachaad White is in the Washington backfield, being that I never thought White was really that good on the NFL level. He had flashes of brilliance on the Buccaneers, but he was not good on the Buccaneers either. I don't see how that's going to be much better for him on the Commanders in this 3-back committee.
Well, yeah. Hey, Evan, I hear what you're saying. I think it's just a matter of well, we might not think he's that good as an NFL player, but there are still numbers that he produces. And does he fit a role? And does he fit a role on your fantasy team? Once you get to that round, what we just finished round, 9? I think
we are finishing 9 right now.
Yeah, we're finishing 9. When you look down the board, the running back room gets very slim. Heck, it gets really slim after round 7. So we're taking stabs at RB3s and RB4s. Come on, dude. Funny. Yeah, hey, everyone's dealing. It's okay. No judgment here. Everyone just get your picks on.
Stafford is a good late round quarterback pick. I'll put it to you that way.
Hey man, get Stafford in there. He was the MVP last year. That crazy stat that people have put out. I don't know who I first heard it from early in the preseason, but Stafford being the MVP and scoring all those points with 1 rushing yard last year. 1 rushing yard.
Oh my God, you're right.
A quarterback goes through the year with 1 rushing yard. In today's NFL, I mean, we're canceling out almost every quarterback who isn't a rushing quarterback, and we're putting them in the round 6 and after bundle. I know it's an extreme case because he's been so great for so long, and it obviously has all of the things around him with the coach and the system. But my goodness, I was someone who picked up Stafford in my home league almost a week or 2 after when I ran into problems, and it carried my really injured team through some tough weeks, and almost got me to the playoffs. Let's see. Why don't we beef up this?
Let's see. So yeah, Casey Concepcion went at the 10-10.
Yeah, we're going to do something a little bit better than Casey Concepcion, although I loved him. We're going to pick the guy where I thought Casey Concepcion would go to.
Let's see at 5 seconds. Oh, Deshaun Stribling.
They have no receivers.
Second round wide receiver, but I'll be curious to see if he beats out Christian Kirk for the wide receiver 2 role at this point.
Right now, I don't think Christian Kirk is playing right now. So right now, I continue to follow the health trend. I generally don't want to pick any guys with problems. I know I did take Burden, but I think he's going to be back and ready to go. And if I have to even deal with a week or 2, I think the long-term outcome for Burden this year, of course, I'm drinking all of the juice unapologetically this year. Give me the Burden. And frankly, I don't blame anybody who's saying, give me Rome another round or 2 later. I know, I think I'm not sure who posted it. It was one of the projectors today. It was anytime, Luther Burden catches, we're watching the highlight videos. Anytime Rome catches a highlight bomb reel on Instagram or anything, everyone just covers their eyes and isn't paying attention. Guys tearing it up. Rome was a top 10 pick. So we'll see how it goes. Now I'm going to take a little backup here right away for my tight end spot. We're going to go Mark Andrews. He's not going anywhere. If he's healthy, he's not going anywhere. Lamar loves Mark. I know there's the Ja'Cory Lane talk, and I love Zay Flowers. I love Zay, but specific to tight end, when it gets down there, if it's not Derek or Lamar, I know that he's going to be looking for Mark Andrews if he's healthy in the end zone. That's just a no-doubter.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are doubting the Baltimore Ravens passing offense for a lot of reasons. For one thing, they don't, for whatever reason, Lamar Jackson just cannot get any respect on his arm for being a good quarterback in the league because many of his highlights are his rushing plays, and everybody thinks he's a running back throwing the football, and it's wrong. The guy threw for more than 40 touchdowns just a couple of years ago. Lamar Jackson definitely leans on Mark Andrews to be a solid red zone opportunity. With Isaiah likely gone, with the John Harbaugh lame duck system gone, he's got DeClan Doyle as his offensive coordinator from the Ben Johnson School of Hard Knocks. This is an offense that I think people are going to want to be investing in while the prices are this low.
We all know it. We know that everyone's buying the Declan Doyle sexy offense right now. Everyone's buying Ben Johnson treat. That's the next thing to happen. I'm all in on the Ravens. Anybody you want to take from the Ravens, I think they're all adequate at cost right now. I don't think there's any bad buys on the Ravens offense at all. Whatever your flavor is, whether it's Ja'Cory Lane late or whether it's Zay Flowers in the third or fourth, Mark Andrews is always falling past the sixth round. Lamar, anytime you want to take him. These are all winning players. I don't like to overthink studs and systems. These are things that are proven out over time. I know it's new. There'll probably be some learning curve, but there's been nothing but glowing reports out of Ravens camp and from Lamar loving his offensive coordinator. We all know here in Chicago, when your quarterback loves your offensive coordinator and there's a symbiotic thing going on, that's like invaluable. If I'm not watching the Bears, I love to watch the Ravens play every year. I love their defense too. Always have great defensive squads. So yeah, sign me up for the entire Ravens offense all year. At cost right now, wherever you're looking.
Unfortunately, with a few of our spots going on auto draft, we're starting to see defense/special teams going a bit earlier than the last couple of rounds, which I don't recommend ever doing in a redraft league, being 100%. That first of all, you're probably going to be streaming them anyway on a week-to-week basis just because of the volatility. Plus, there's a bye week with all of them. And second of all, you can grab dart throws later for your flex spot, whether that's a running back or a wide receiver or a tight end, that could end up being a league winner. So it's, there's also arguments to be made from a lot of enthusiasts not to draft a kicker or a defense at all for modern day redraft leagues. Andrew, where's your philosophy on this? Do you bother drafting those positions in the last two rounds, or are you just a guy that's willing to take more dart throws?
No, yeah. If it's defense or kickers, I'm always waiting till the very last available. I think literally the only exception at this point anyone's even making in kicker leagues is Brandon Aubrey, just because of the consistency, the distance. If your standard league is, awarding kicker points appropriately, you're probably getting, 5 or 6 points a kick. You can't ignore that in a standard league. But beyond that, until someone else proves themselves, the DSTs are always just shreds of points, difference, and kickers are about the same. It's like anything. As the statistics pour in and we see more, kickers kicking longer field goals, that could change. Otherwise, no, till the end, there's just not enough parity. Or there's too much parity for me to, put any of them ahead of the other. Let's see. I got to make a pick here.
Yes, you do. And I'm 100% with you on that as well. If you're going to draft them at all, just wait until the last couple of rounds because, even if you draft the Rams defense/special teams, which are probably going to be top 3 on paper right now with the Myles Garrett trade, even then, I still don't want to go grab him in the 10th round. I don't know who was at number 6 who left us. It is what it is. But I definitely don't want to grab the Rams in the 10th round, being that you're now missing out on a lot of dart throws that you could be taking that could end up being important. Like Mark Andrews is a good example. You grabbed him in the 11th round after that team took the Rams defense. That's a guy you could absolutely pair up with Dalton Kincaid for a tight end that you can swap off or even flex both of them, because we're now getting in an era of the passing offense in the NFL. Tight ends are becoming more and more important every year.
100%. We all know it. We all read the same articles. We all know the 13 personnel articles. We all, hey, we know this is happening. Now, I think what we need to just wait for now is as people like, McVay and Ben Johnson and whoever else you want to put into the bundle of coaches who are paving the way with, this kind of play calling. We have to now wait for maybe a year or two of data, and see how it actually plays out and see how that's going to affect our drafts. In the meantime, I'm still going to be taking, pass catching tight ends no matter what. It's just a matter of how much more are they going to play a role. Typically with my last pick here. Now I did exit because I was talking. I got auto picked on Malik Willis as a backup quarterback. Evan, this comes with a disclaimer. This is my guy this year. I would have probably taken Gunnar Helm with my last pick because he is the man. Gunnar Helm or bust this year for a beautiful Titans offense. For any late drafters or tight end premiums, all in on Gunnar Helm this year, having a really nice year. Could have that kind of year that maybe a Terrence Ferguson's had for Dallas over the last couple of years. Maybe has that Kincaid type of role. Hopefully maybe gets to that 60 to 70 catch range. And 800 yards and some touchdowns. Camp's been good for him. And so you're always looking for that next guy, and so he's been my fun off-season pick and a little bit of a running joke. So to speak, with me and some fantasy friends. So yeah, all in on Gunnar Helm on tight end if you're looking for a last minute dart throw, even a high of ahead of Eli Raritan, which I mentioned earlier. Kind of fading Sadiq and some of these other options, outside of the norm. But would probably have maybe done that a little bit there.
I'm not sure who wrote about Gunnar Helm on Rotoballer a couple of weeks ago, but it's even the headline that Gunnar Helm was a redraft sleeper to target ahead of a potential year 2 breakout. I can buy that to a certain extent, but I think the Titans are also going to be an offense that are going to go 3 and out a lot this year, along with the Giants, the Colts, and quite a few other teams like the Browns. Like that's going to be a 3 and out team that's going to happen a lot this year when they're rebuilding. I don't trust. I mean, Brian Daboll's going to have a halfway decent offense, but I just don't trust Brian Daboll to run a functional team when he just doesn't take care of his talent. He almost got Jackson Dart killed, for crying out loud.
Yeah, Brian Daboll, we might be talking about Brian Daboll differently altogether if he never was with Josh Allen. Because he kind of got stuck with a not great the Giants organization when he came to them was not in a great way and really didn't help Daboll at all either. It seems like there was some dysfunction going on. Now he's on to maybe his third act. This might be his last chance to really prove that he can do it as a head coach in the NFL for a little bit. He does have a young quarterback. Evan, if you what you need to do is you need to now go and watch Netflix, quarterbacks, and then watch Cam Ward, and then you'll be in on it. Like that's what you have to do. You got to eat the hype machine, drink the hype machine, and then you'll be in on it. But no, I'm optimistic. And Carnell Tate's also just got the highlight reel going at camp. So that's exciting. That's exciting too for them. And I'm looking forward to a rejuvenated maybe Titans team this year. But I'm going to be a little hesitant, but I'm going to be I think they've got great pieces in place to take a step forward. So I hope that happens for them. Also, low-key, I've been taking a lot of Nick Singleton at the end of drafts too, because Tony Pollard's on a cliff going over, and Tajay Spears has had, he can't stay healthy. That's just it. No offense to him as a player, but he's had the opportunity for 3 years and hasn't been able to do it. So I'm excited to see if Nick Singleton could step in there and really take some reps, and maybe for some explosives as well. He's a very fast player. So I think they're doing their best to surround their young quarterback with some new talent, and so I'm kind of optimistic for the Titans this upcoming season.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the optimism too, despite the questionable coaching staff and a young talent. I mean, you mentioned the quarterback program on Netflix, which, I mean, I'm not a Netflix subscriber anymore, but I know the program that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I already like Cam Ward when he was a rookie quarterback anyway. I just feel bad that he has to go play for the shit ass fucking Titans that are just not a good team without AJ Brown or Derrick Henry anymore. It's an organization I mean, there's no secret that they're in rebuild mode, and I'm still on board with Gunnar Helm being like a last round tight end sleeper if you're really looking for one. Like FB Genius over here and from the 7 spot took Isaiah Likely, Brenton Strange, and Gunnar Helm, which if you're missing out on wide receiver value, I think this is fine to take some shots on these tight ends. They're not going to provide wide receiver upside, but they may have some explosive weeks that'll make you be glad that you put them in a flex spot.
100%. And you know what? I know all the talk in Jacksonville is around what wide receiver do we pick? That's the whole thing, is the wide receiver room for Jacksonville Jaguars, and a little bit of course the Tootin C-Rod, and then there's this third camp where it's like, what about Brenton Strange? The dynasty crowd, especially. What about Brenton Strange? Did I just, have I thrown too many shares of Brenton Strange out there? Have I overpaid for him? And, I have him in dynasty as well. Seems to me that all the reports out of camp that I've read or heard or blurbs, Brenton Strange is going to be a part of this offense. And even though they drafted a couple of these other guys, these are for secondary and tertiary roles, and they paid Brenton Strange. Once again, follow the money. They gave Brenton Strange a really nice extension, and he had a really nice year. So if I'm targeting, I got burned really bad on Brian Thomas Jr. last year. If I am putting any shares in this year, it's definitely towards the way the coaching staff has spoken about it. Everyone's heard it. It's Parker Washington, and I'm probably taking Brenton Strange. If I can get Brian Thomas Jr. or BTJ in a value post round 5 or 5 or after, then I'm probably going to take a hit if I feel like I need that boomer bust guy. If I maybe miss out on a Christian Watson, who I tried to add in a few leagues in drafts, if you put him in that category. So I'm still all aboard the Brenton Strange train going into this year for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely on the Brenton Strange train as well. And it's interesting that you're bringing this up because, quite frankly, I don't understand why there's this ambiguity among the fantasy football community as to who's the wide receiver 1 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's Brian Thomas Jr., people. I'm going to say it here first, and I'll tell you why.
It could be.
First round draft pick. You don't spend a first round pick on a guy who, A, doesn't suck. He happened to have a rough year last year, but it was also growing pains for the Liam Cohen offense. Brian Thomas played fantastic with 2 different quarterbacks in his rookie year, which would have been with Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones. Trevor Lawrence is still going to be the guy's quarterback, and he can get the ball to Thomas. And then they traded for Jacoby Myers because he's got a better set of hands than everybody else on the team. So it's Brian Thomas, Jacoby Myers. Parker Washington is a wide receiver 3. I know all of y'all are getting excited about Parker Washington. His ADP is too high. Don't expect him to take over that offense. It ain't happening. You fall for it every year when guys get hurt. That's why he steps up.
I think it goes, Evan, you're right. And it's like everyone's going to have their guy on a team that has that mix. And we've seen that last year with the Packers wide receiver room, or fill in the blank with wherever the messy wide receiver room is. Sometimes no one's got to be right. And maybe everyone can be right. It's quite possible that Parker Washington and Brian Thomas Jr. score the same amount of points this year. It might just not be the same way. That's how it goes. Like maybe, hey, Parker Washington might get 30 more catches than Brian Thomas this year, but does Brian Thomas have 4 more touchdowns to make that 30 catches irrelevant? And it might be the same yardage. So a lot of times, I just have to look at things in a vacuum and say, one might be boom or bust. One might be more steady Eddie, but will they score the same amount of points? It's just, what does your roster, like at that point in the draft, what does your roster need? I like to have 2 or 3 steady eddies, and I tend to be pretty aggressive with boomer bust guys because I know that that's like what turns the tide in my league that year. So, everyone's got their own way, but I think there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way an outcome can happen than just, this guy's going to be better or this guy's going to be better. It's just what does your roster need? And they might turn out the same way. It's just might not be the week you need it. So, that goes with like Roma Dunze and Burden and Loveland. It's all of these kind of same arguments. They might all have an equally great year. It just, one might be a little bit different than the other.
Yeah, and I think K-Lest also brings up a good point in the comments that the right answer might just be Trevor Lawrence pertaining
100%.
to the most valuable fantasy piece from the Jaguars, because I was going to get into this point as well, Andrew.
Yeah.
It seems to me that Liam Cohen is running this offense a lot like Ben Johnson is with the Chicago Bears, where he's trying to get maximized value out of all of his starters out there on the field, whether that's 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, both running backs. He's trying to get everything out of everybody, and I think that's also a good plan, considering how many other teams are trying to revolve their offenses around the tight end. Colts, Packers, Bills, you name it. A lot more teams are trying to revolve around the tight end. Chiefs, too. Kelsey is going to be the top guy, right?
Yeah, sure. if it's not Cyrus Allen, it's got to be Travis Kelsey. So yeah. Oh, Chiefs, don't get me started. I don't know if we have enough time in the program left. I'm probably. I think I might have drafted the only Chief I'm going to draft this year, and it's Emmett Tom. I don't know if I'm liking anyone's value for the Chiefs at all this year. If I'm doing anything, maybe Kelsey later if he's still on the board and I need a tight end, because he's still going to be. I still think he's got PPR ability left. But as far as like Kenneth Walker, I'm probably not drafting Kenneth Walker in the 2nd round. I'm probably not drafting Xavier Worthy at all. Rashee Rice, I've already done that dance too many times, and I just don't need to do it. Some people say, I don't need this in my life. And there's certain things like if I lose because of not drafting someone like Rashee Rice in the 3rd, then so be it. I'll have to move on. So it's like a lot of the Chiefs' problems are at cost with me. Like that's it.
Yeah, so I'd like to see you elaborate more on this question asked by my younger brother Ryan here. Is the overall wide receiver 1 in PPR leagues reachable for Rashee Rice because of Matt Nagy leaving the Chiefs? So I want to hear this part of this question first, Andrew. Is this the ceiling for Rashee Rice now that Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator again?
No, I don't think that really changes anything there. I mean, Andy, at the end of the day, Andy Reid's in charge. So whoever's coming in is really doing a shadow Andy Reid's bidding. Maybe it changes a little bit. I know that they will be changing this, at least to start the season. Most of the smart analysts say, and I agree, that Pat Mahomes is whatever they want to tell me and the coach speak, he's not going to be 100% on the way back. They're not going to put him in harm's way as much as possible. This is why they drafted Emmett from Nebraska to back up and brought in Kenneth Walker. They beefed up the running back room on purpose, and also, the reviews for Emmett are great too as well. So no, they're trying to protect. If anything, does Travis? He's still the short outlet man for Pat when he's in trouble. So I think it's all hands on deck to help Pat Mahomes get the ball out of his hands quick this year. And that still includes Rashee. He's not a downfield threat. He can catch a downfield pass, but he is a mid-range guy. He is all things closer to the line of scrimmage guy, across the middle guy. Rashee Rice could still have a wide receiver 1 outcome. At the end of the day, I'm probably just not going to deal with it. If I do, it would be out of like absolute last necessity to draft him in that spot. The other half of that is, Neighbors, Nagy with Neighbors.
Yeah, so let's get to that next part of the question as well. Should Malik Neighbors be bumped down in ADP because of Matt Nagy as his offensive coordinator? I think the knee injury is going to be the biggest factor to Malik Neighbors because when he comes back healthy, whenever that happens, even if he has to start the season on the PUP, he's still going to be the top target for Jackson Dart. So let's hear what you have to say about this, Andrew. I'm curious about your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I probably, if I can get, if I can have the opportunity, if I think I'm in that situation where I can draft Neighbors with an early third, I will not take Neighbors in the second. That's not who I'm going to be drafting. I have been drafting George Pickens heavily in the second. He's been my main target. I'll pass on Lamb to have Pickens in the second, in most drafts. He's almost my number one ranked guy in the second round for most of my drafts, no matter what the format. That's just a me thing. That being said, Neighbors, I'm going to have to probably be in on the early third if I can get him. I'll feel super good about that if I can. I'm not going to let all the talent there be distracted by Matt Nagy. I'm going to give Matt one more chance to see what he
That's
can
risky.
do. Yeah, with his opportunity. But also, also people have been saying that likely has been Jackson Dart's favorite target in camp. So that's another thing to consider. And they also have a plethora of wide receivers battling out to fill out the room. I mean, we all know the names. It's, Odell Beckham Jr. and it's Darius Slayton and it's, fill in the blank. Every guy in town is in the Giants wide receiver room right now, battling for a second fiddle role, in my opinion, to Neighbors. And they let Wandell go too. So yeah, no, I'm probably if I'm doing the Giants offense, I'm more inclined to take likely as the pass catcher from that offense, just value wise generally, because I think getting Neighbors in a third round is at this point, like he's either there or he's not. I can't bank on him ever being there. It's harder to predict just because of the nature of the beast.
Right, yeah. So for a regular draft that's 12 teams or smaller, Neighbors going in the third round sounds about right. But being that this is 14 teams, John McClinn from the second spot took Neighbors at the 213. Are you willing to take Neighbors this early in a 14-team format like this when he's practically the seventh wide receiver off the board? Oh, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th wide receiver off the board.
I think John was being smart and aggressive with his draft in that pick, because he knows that there's a lot of good drafters in this draft. Hey, sorry, we all know the guys in this room, and we all know that, hey, we got sidetracked by a couple auto picks, but we know in reality, guys and girls are drafted smart in this area. So right after him went Olave, and then the next pick was really me at Pickens, and then it was Nico Collins. And then Drake London, or sorry. Yeah, I took Pickens, and then he took Neighbors, and then Olave. And then the next pick in the beginning of the third is Reishi. And then I took Bird and then Devontae Smith. So I guess after that, it's like, I would definitely take him. Like I said, I already stand for Pickens. So I took the right pick in the second round for me. Would I have taken him in the third, like instead of Burden? Yes. Like if Neighbors and Burden are there for me in the third round, I would have taken Neighbors. But for me to take Neighbors there, no, because I was debating between Henry and Pickens. So yeah, that and Devontae, I'm still a little hesitant on myself.
Just for the fourth round, though.
Well, no, Devontae was in the third. Devontae Smith was in the third round.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Not Devontae Adams. Devontae Smith.
Sorry, the other Devontae. The other Devontae. No, I'm happy to get Devontae Adams where I got him. And I think, honestly, DJ Moore's going to maybe a couple more highlights from camp with Josh Allen. And he's going to creep up even a little bit more into the third. There's just so much ball left in the next 4 weeks. And hey, all of these things change over day. I was just looking casually today at the real ADP on Fantasy Pros. Hey, things, the sliding scale moves very quickly. At the beginning of the day, Jahmyr Gibbs was undoubtedly number one pick. Bijan number 2 on Fantasy Pros real ADP. After the news, after the news of Jamar Gibbs' center going down, went down 0.1% for Gibbs and went up 0.1% for Bijan. So as these training camp injuries happen, the draft position will change for everybody. The pros in here know that, but for the common listener, check your rankings every day and see what that ADP is, because it's going to give you a better evaluation of what it is that day, even with camp news coming out. And guys needing to major back from injury, and especially offensive lines affecting the quarterback and all of the other things. So hey, not a little thing, a major thing can happen, and it's going to have a ripple effect on ADP. And it'll be interesting to see if a lot of people are really Gibbs, and I'm probably Gibbs too. But a recovering offensive line in Detroit now takes a hit with their center, who's supposed to be a steady Eddie stronghold of it. They're back to the drawing board for about 8 to 10 weeks until he comes back. So, hey guys, be smart with how these camp injuries affect the totality of the team, just not the skill position players.
Right on. Yeah. So let's start to wrap up the show here, Andrew. I'm going to ask you one more question here.
Sure.
I asked this all of my guests here. Who do you believe had the best draft here out of all 14 of us? That's probably a big question. I'll give you a little bit of time, but I'm going to give you 30 seconds to pick one.
Right off the bat, I'm probably, at my first look, I'm not sure who has it, but potentially
you can even pick yourself if you have to.
FB Genius, I like FB Geniuses all around, like we were talking about earlier with Likely and Strange and the tight ends in the bottom. I do like the CeeDee Lamb pick overall. Like, I don't have a problem with CeeDee. It's just a value thing in the first and second round for me with those two receivers. I like the receiver room. I like Lamb. I like Watson. Michael Wilson could still survive. Quentin Johnson it's a boomer bust, fourth pick there. And you got a little padding with Strange and Likely. And then I kind of like the rookie running back room with Love and Price. And then the secondary picks of Dowdle, Rodriguez, Mitchell. That's great. And then he took my boy Gunnar Helm. So I think FB Genius might get my reward for the day. There's a lot of good drafts out here. Hey, people have different builds, and I have to factor in the auto draft too. We all were a little victim to that today, but no judgment. Get them better next time. But yeah, I think FB Genius maybe won this for me. I like the well-roundedness of the team overall. And he's got Josh Allen at quarterback, which is just set it and forget it. And you got the top dude. He's the dude. So despite those new uniforms, he's still the man.
Right on. I actually just got a breaking piece of news from James Boyd at Romeoville Kid on Twitter, the Colts reporter for The Athletic. Their wide receiver, Alec Pierce, just received another PRP injection in his left ankle. So Pierce underwent left ankle surgery in March, and this is the second time he's received it this offseason. So I don't expect Pierce to miss time right now, but this is definitely something to monitor depending on how this is going to impact his availability. I'm guessing he's going to practice and play through it.
Yeah, my hands are off. Colts made a mistake with this, giving him the money. They knew the injury was already there. Seems like it's being mismanaged from the outside. I'm not a doctor. Probably something I'm not touching. He was already strictly a big play guy, and now we're expecting a different result coming off an injury. Everyone's on the Josh Downs train. Choo choo. I don't know. I'd rather Tyler Warren. That's probably it's either Taylor or Warren is who I will be selecting from the Colts for the most part. But I'm going to keep my hands off Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce, I mean, after these kind of news reports where there's no information, I'm probably going to sit on him until at least the 8th round. I won't probably take him or touch him. After the 8th round, that could be my 4th receiver where I can weather the storm if I have to keep him on the bench for a little bit. And then maybe he helps me out later down in the season. But I'm probably not going to touch Alec Pierce at all this year, just based on what I know right now.
Yeah, and even without the ankle problems that Alec Pierce has had, I've been out on Alec Pierce in general just because I think he's a one-trick pony, a down threat guy who's a boom-bust receiver, similar to like a Marquez Valdez-Scantling, but I mean, maybe you can make the argument he's a little more talented, but I don't even like
Yeah,
Josh Downs that much. I think the Colts are going to revolve the offense around Tyler Warren, and that's just the way it's
100%.
going to be. And whoever
100%.
has the hot hand at wide receiver, depending on game script, that's just the way it's going to go. I probably took the draft board off a little too early, but Afro Joe 125 took Alec Pierce at the 8-3. I think that's fine considering his circumstances. That was his third receiver that he took in the draft too.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's pretty much what I just said. Like if it's 8 or after, you're probably my hopefully my fourth receiver. I'm usually receiver heavy early on. So if I want to take a stab at something like that 8 or 9 range will probably be the range for him. Maybe we had a different report in 4 weeks. It could be a different report in 4 or 5 weeks. And then when you're drafted in your home leagues, I'm guessing closer to the actual end of training camp, like most of us, you'll have a clearer picture. For those right now, I'm guessing, if you've got that IR spot or that pup spot or that, if you're just doing best ball drafts, that's where you're going to target an Alec Pierce. Otherwise, there's just going to be other options. I'd rather have my Stribling pick with a depleted 49ers room rather than and we still have to see Daniel Jones come back. That's the other piece of that too. You're putting I don't like to put a lot of investment into quarterback rooms I don't believe in. We didn't even get to the Saints, so I'll leave the Shuck conversation for another day. But we want to believe in receivers and rooms, but do we really believe in the quarterbacks delivering the ball to them? So that just always goes without saying.
Right on. Yeah, so unfortunately, we're running out of time here. We got to wrap this up for tonight. So, ladies, gentlemen, and all those in between or outside of it, this has been another episode of Monday Night Mock Drafts with Evan. One more time, I'd like to thank my guest, Andrew Lupole, for joining me. Be sure to follow Andrew on Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. I've got all his handles in the description of this video. Give him a follow on those platforms wherever you are. He's a great guy to keep track of when it comes to just getting a good IPA or beer in a Scott Fishbowl mug or just talking fantasy football in general. He's a great guy to follow. Andrew, is there anything else that people should also be checking out from you?
No, not necessarily. I might have some things in the work in the near future. TBD. Just getting my new school year going with my daughters and all of those other things and, all of the normal life. But yeah, you can find me pretty much at Andrew Lupole or Andrew_Lupole anywhere on the interwebs. I'm happy to, have a new follower and always happy to chop it up with everybody out there. Appreciate all you guys for, checking out the mock tonight on YouTube. And if you participated, thank you very much for joining in. I appreciate the support. And I know Evan does 100%.
Oh, yeah, the feeling is absolutely mutual. Thank you all so much for mocking with us tonight and tuning in. Let's wrap this show up for tonight. Be sure to tune in next week for a 12-team, one-quarterback PPR Redraft League mock draft. We're going to go back to the standard size for these redraft leagues as we're getting deeper into redraft season. Joining me for that one is going to be the great Keith Fleming of Fantasy Six Pack, a great man that I used to do live shows with when we were both on the Optimus Fantasy team. He will be bringing the DFS lens to the redraft format, and you will not want to miss that. This has been another episode of Monday Night Mock Drafts with Evan, signing off. Have a great night, folks. We'll see you all next week. Take care.